Hi, I'm Charlotte Merrill, and this is our So Let's Be Friends podcast. This is a place where everyone belongs, and every story matters. Together, we celebrate our differences, bring awareness to disabilities, and build a more inclusive and supportive world. One conversation at a time, let's open our hearts and listen with kindness.
I like when people ask me about my crutches because they can get to know me, and I like having friends, so let's be friends.
This life is beautiful, and you are wonderful.
I am Charlotte, and today I'm so happy to introduce you to our guest, Nancy, an amazing mother and teacher who raised awesome kids, and two of the daughters here with us today, Emma and Elizabeth. We'll be talking about what's like to grow up, navigate school, and then step into adulthood with special needs, finding jobs, making friends, and being part of the community. I can't wait for you to hear their story and wisdom. So let's be friends and let's get started.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi, Nan. Can you and your daughters introduce yourselves?
Okay, so my name is Nancy, and I've been a teacher for a number of many years, and I have 3 daughters and a couple stepsons, and my oldest daughter is a decade different than my 2 youngest. My 2 youngest are Emma and Elizabeth, or Elizabeth and Emma if we're doing it in correct birth order, and Elizabeth is my loving daughter. She recognizes people all the time. She knows them. She hugs people all the time. We can't go to Walmart without everybody being greeted because that's just the kind of person she is. Emma's a little bit more quiet. She doesn't necessarily recognize people as much, and she definitely doesn't hug as much. But she has wonderful as well. She's a very compassionate person. She's aware of the others around her. So they're very unique and wonderful people. Is there anything else you want to know about them?
Do you want to share a little bit about what's unique about them? And by the way, I'm her mother, Anna, and I'm here to be a part of it as well. I get to help Charlotte. So, yeah, do you want to share what's unique about them?
So I kind of gave you their personality, but what's unique is that we didn't, when both girls were born, they were perfectly fine. Nothing was wrong. We didn't have any feelings that there was anything happening. Elizabeth specifically started off all of her milestones were very good at where they were supposed to be. She ended up having RSV at 15 months, and then we started seeing problems. She couldn't walk. She did not learn to walk until she was almost 2 years old. Found out later, actually, a doctor friend stopped us as we were walking down the road because she looked so uncomfortable. And he said, she was walking at that point, but he said, you should bring her in and I'll check her. And he did. And he noticed that there was a problem, a malformation in one of her hips. So he sent us to a specialist, and that specialist said, yep, it's malformed, and I don't know what I can do for her. So she'd been quite sick, and so we started using supplements and some other things, and her legs did grow, which was wonderful. But that same doctor said, but I am seeing clear milestone problems. She has muscle tone problems that we don't really understand. And I think there's something else. So he referred us to a specialist. And that specialist, when he did studies, he basically said, well, here's my deal. Unless we did a very expensive microarray, we have no idea why these things happen. We have no idea. And he said, it used to be, back in the day, we only knew 25% of genetic problems. And we didn't know 75. And then he said, but now we know 75, but we don't know 25, and she fits in the 25. Mm-hmm. He said, I can't tell you that. I'm going to tell you that everything you're doing for her is the right thing to do, and keep doing it. So when he said that, and I noticed some issues with Emma, not the same. They are unique. They both have special needs, but they are unique in their needs. They do have some similarities, some visual processing issues that are similar. He couldn't help. And so I gave her the same supplements, and we just have done what we could all their lives to make sure that they were supported and were able to do the things that they wanted to do to the best of my ability to help them do that. I put them in dance. We do sports. One of the greatest things is when we started with Special Olympics, because I was very committed to having my girls do sports, but it began to be a big struggle when they were 12 and 13 years old, because the skill levels are not the same. Mm-hmm. And there were some things that were just a big struggle for that. So I was grateful when we found Special Olympics, and we belong to an inclusive group, which is awesome. Unified. So unified, exactly. Mm-hmm. So I get to participate because I also love sports. Mm-hmm. And so
she's one of the best basketball players and softball players.
I'll go with softball. Yeah. I can't run anymore. Basketball's hard, but it was just really important to me for my girls to be able to be part of the community and to be able to do things. So one of the things about the situation and just, for your help and for the audience, etc., doing things to help your children and inclusion can be very difficult because you don't want to do too much. We were talking about this a little bit before we started. Mm-hmm. We don't want to do too much, but we want to make sure that people are supported. And having been in education in a lot of different ways and areas for many, many years, I've had students of all kinds of abilities with all kinds of issues. You have to be compassionate. You have to recognize that there are going to be all kinds of things that are going to come up, mm-hmm. and you're never going to know for sure how or what's going on with someone. So being understanding, while you still hold them to their standards, and there's things and there's stuff you have to be able to do. So mm-hmm. There we go.
Elizabeth, would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay. I'm Emma.
She's the baby.
Yeah, I'm the baby of the family.
She's also a very fast runner.
Yeah. Yep. I love to run. Done running since I started, and the 400 is a hard race, but I can do it. I've also ran at Desert Challenge. That was a struggle after breaking ribs, but I did it and I pushed through it. Joining Special Olympics has been a life changer for me.
And we love having her.
Yeah.
I'm Elizabeth. I also love being on the Special Olympics team. I've been on the team for 12 years. I love doing softball, and it's really fun getting to know the Merrills and doing it with them. When I started, I was 14 when I started, and it's really fun getting my exercise in every Friday. It helps a lot.
And we like having you as a friend too.
Yes.
So there's all that community together.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. As a mom and a teacher, what do you learn about inclusion inside in and out of the classroom?
So I somewhat addressed it, but here's the deal. Everybody needs support. And I've been around different levels, IEPs and all those lovely acronyms, which I'm not a huge fan of acronyms, the 504s, the various different accommodations, are you in college, all those things. What I've really understood is that people want to be valued for who they are and the skills they have. So they might not do certain things very well, but there's stuff they can do. So as a mom, I wanted to make sure that my girls had the opportunities to learn how to cook a little bit, even though I struggle with letting them be in my kitchen. It's a little struggle for me. It's actually a stress reliever for me. So sometimes I just want to be able to get in there and do it. But they have to have those skills, right? We know down the road, the hope and the reality, I think, will be that they'll both be in their own homes at some point. And so they need those skills. And that's true in a classroom. Everybody needs the skill to be able to communicate. Everybody needs that opportunity to be able to work with others.
Thank you. What were some of the biggest challenges when your daughters transition from school to adulthood?
So one of the programs that they have in a lot of different places is the school to work transition program. There's a variety of different ones. In Arizona, it's Rehabilitation Services of Arizona is one that we used. And they're very good about supporting you. One of the great things they do is they help you. They'll do the psychological testing sometimes it's required. They'll also do things where, for example, they did some testing of what are you going to be good at? What kind of skills are you going to be able to do well? And they have a counselor for them that helps them. And then the best thing is they help them find a job, and then they try to shadow them or check up on them for 90 days after they've gotten that job. So for both of the girls, they've had different jobs. Elizabeth's been in the same job for quite a while and doing things that she enjoys. The other thing was, are they going to have a job that will be good down the road, right? Do they need college? And how much college are they going to need? So we've definitely worked hard to do those kinds of things. It's not been easy. They'll both know it does acknowledge that those are struggles, but I was really helped by RSA and by a couple of the counselors specifically, as well as a particular group that that did services with them and helped them do things like work on resumes, because I can do that and I have helped them with them, but it's also good to have another adult that's not the mom, right?
Mhm.
Because the mom is
Yeah.
it's a different role. And so I wanted to have other people have that role. And so they did quite a bit. They'd go to the library, they've shadowed jobs, they've gone different places. So the great thing is that they help them with those things.
Awesome. Thank you. How did you support your daughters in finding jobs and opportunities to contribute to society?
So I love this question because, especially for our family, service is really important. So before my dad passed away, he was very involved with various different civic things. And he worked with a specific senior center in our community. And because of that, both of the girls had the opportunity to serve and to go there and to interact with people. So I mentioned a little bit earlier, but Elizabeth knows all kinds of folks. She just randomly sees people in Walmart. I have no idea who they are. Sometimes I have to ask her, so who is that? Like, I don't even remember. So she knows people, really recognizes them and knows them. And so that opportunity to contribute to society happened because our family values that. And then, like we said before, we were able to get involved with Special Olympics, which has been very, very important and very influential for us. And it helps me too, because I think all of my students should, not just my children, but all of my students should be involved in helping with the community. So I kind of require it. I give them opportunities to do that. So I think it's great. Very
We
important.
have to know how wonderful this woman is. I was out of town Saturday and we had some people fall through that were helping with our Special Olympics fundraiser. And I was hesitant to reach out because I'm not great at asking for help. But I reached out to her and she jumped without hesitation and filled in and went above and beyond helping with our fundraiser on Saturday. So it just goes to show what a wonderful woman she is and the proof of how much she likes to be involved in the community. So I just wanted to say thank you for that, and I'm very grateful.
Yeah, I
You're
love
welcome.
her.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, guys.
You're welcome. What role has community support or lack of it played in your journey?
So this is kind of interesting because sometimes I feel like they're, especially when they were young, I felt like I got involved with the school system because I knew that needed to happen. And they had the supports like the OT and the PT and the speech and things that had to be done because I couldn't do it. Part of the time I was a single parent. I have been a single parent off and on for a few different years at times. Anyway, and so I just felt like I needed support. I had a great family. I have really awesome parents that were always there to support. And so it depends on how we define community. The broader community wasn't always really clear. They didn't really know how to help. My girls did get involved with Little League a little bit, and our community does a lot of that kind of thing. because I thought that was important. So there's people throughout the community that know my girls and love my girls and are aware of their needs, and they don't present to people as having anything, right? People don't know off the top just looking at them. They aren't in a wheelchair, they don't use crutches or anything, and so people aren't clear, and so sometimes you have to really wake people up. So that was a little bit difficult. Sometimes you have to be really clear to people, like you can't expect the same things, or the way that we're going to look at it the same way you do. So I think that's good.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good answer.
Yeah.
It is hard. Sometimes Charlotte does have crutches. So having those crutches, it shows that she does things a little bit differently.
Right.
But when you don't have that, like you said,
Yeah,
there's
not
different
everybody has it.
processing. And so, yeah, so we totally understand that. It's
Yes, yeah.
a hard area. I remember we did try to do Little League, and some people were okay with Charlotte having her gate trainer to run the bases and using a plastic bat because she couldn't hold a heavy bat. And then there were some people that were really upset that she was breaking the rules of Little League, but she
Right,
was
whatever
only,
that meant.
she was only
Yeah.
like 5 or 6
Yeah.
using a plastic bat. And so, like you said, it kind of the community support is there pretty well until they're about 12, 13 years old, where they can be in all the little kid things. But as soon as they're of age and things start to become real, where they're becoming into teenage and adulthood, kind of things started to go away. And that's why we also brought Special Olympics Unified to the White Mountains, because it wasn't available and there was nothing for these tween kids to all of a sudden go to.
Right.
so
That
that's kinda-
competitiveness, yeah, it was rough.
And my husband and I love to coach, and we love to be a part of sports. We were coaching soccer at the high school and all these different things. And
Yeah,
our
same,
kids,
same.
yeah,
Yeah.
when our kids were on the sidelines in wheelchairs, and knowing that wasn't really ever going to happen, we had to adjust.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
I think adjust is
absolutely.
one of the biggest words. I had a parent teach me that word one day, adjust. And that just really helped me to start pivoting and adjusting in
Right.
moments and recognizing we can just do things differently. So
Right. Yeah, mine is flex and flow.
flex and
You
flow.
have to flex and flow.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Me too. Okay. What advice would you give parents who are starting to think about their child's future after high school?
So this is a tough deal because, again, you have to think about how long is that going to work? How long is that going to be? Every child and every situation is different. So one of the things for me was to think, okay, how are they going to be able to function down the road? So like I had mentioned earlier, I tried to make sure they had some cooking skills and some cleaning skills, and you do your own laundry and you take care of animals, and not that was easy, because Emma's actually kind of deathly afraid of chickens. So that was a little rough, and so that was hard. But we've moved forward, right? We tried to get Elizabeth to be able to drive, but that was a no-go. We found out really quickly. Emma does drive, so every child is different. One of the things, and this is my opinion, is you have to get tied into, to me, tied into what you can as far as state supports. It doesn't always work. I tried with Elizabeth. We were working on some stuff with some insurance things, because another thing they don't tell you is often kids with special needs, specifically her somewhat unknown diagnosis, is that she has different kinds of health problems that you just don't expect. And so we have some pretty big bills that it's hard to pay. Like I'm a school teacher. They don't pay that awesomely, just saying. And insurance is kind of a game, but that's a whole other conversation. So we have some big bills that come because they have some unique physical and chemical issues that we've never been able to nail down because there's no diagnosis. So that's huge. So trying to negotiate, how do we get insurance for somebody? If I can't afford their insurance anymore for whatever reason, or they're 25 and they're going off of my insurance, what do we do there? So there are some negotiations you have to do. Not every program works great. Not every state has really good supportive programs. And so it depends on the state somebody's in, and it depends on how many hoops you're willing to jump through. So that's a problem. Finding somewhere to live. Anymore, rent is ridiculous everywhere. And if you just don't have that, we're working at redesigning our house a little bit so that there could be a little bit more independence and things like that. So I think it depends really for every family in what they're going to be able to do and how they're going to be able to work things. So we've gotten Elizabeth an electric bike. I got it online. Hasn't been perfect yet.
Yes.
It still has a chain problem right now, but we'll get there. That's what
Well, I
that's
do
the
know
other thing.
people
We
you
just
can
will get
connect
there.
with when you
Right.
need help.
We'll get there. Right. We'll get there. So
So
that's what matters.
we've been actually promoting electric trikes and bikes for a lot of our Special Olympics teams. So I think you're one of the fifth or sixth person getting one, and so we need to help our community get some good bike lanes, because I think there's
Yes.
going to be a lot more electric trikes and bikes getting around. So those with special needs, because in a rural community, there's not a lot of transportation.
Yep, that's
So
exactly.
I
There's
love-
they so that was the thing. They made them like, you guys have to learn how to do the bus. The bus
It's
system
so
here is
inconsistent.
not.
Yeah, it picks up at different places. You could be waiting at the
It
bus
was
stop
so
literally
hard.
for 4 hours. So yeah,
Wasn't it, ladies? Wasn't that super hard
yeah,
to
we
do?
tried that too, and it didn't work.
It was rough.
There's
It
no
was so
system.
rough, right?
How do you balance being a mom and a teacher and an advocate without burning out?
So, yeah. So, and I think this is different for every person, because I am a person who just wants to do stuff. Like I get bored just sitting around, and so I want to be doing things. So I don't have to sleep very much, which is very helpful. But I have my moments where I'm just frustrated, and so to be honest with you, I quietly, or less than quietly, by myself, cuss a lot. Just saying, sadly. I occasionally have tears. So you got to cry sometimes. You just do. You just have to get it out. You just have to let it be. I let the community help me, because we've had incidents. There's just nothing I can do, or I need somebody else to support me. So that's reaching out, and it's hard, because I've been a go getter and a go doer for yourself. Like, don't depend on other folks, because you sometimes can't. So I have to remind myself that you need to
reach
care
out.
for others, and let other people help you. So it's a big secret. Let other people help you.
Can you tell us about the work you do and what you like it or struggle?
Emma.
Yeah. So I have currently 3 jobs. So I take care of my grandma, whose health is really poor and it's a struggle. Um, and then I take care of a 2-year-old who also is a struggle. But then I also help a girl who has special needs get the exercise that she needs to get her health back in line, and just to get her moving and more active. It's hard because it's not the easiest to get her up and going, but when she's motivated to do something, she will do it. It's just harder to get her motivated.
And she's a sweet.
She's a sweetheart, but she's a struggle to get motivated.
But we've talked about it before too, not necessarily with you. Actually, we've had the same conversation. Sometimes having someone, because you understand, with special needs, helping another with special needs navigate. Like Charlotte has crutches. Caroline walked with crutches a lot better, because she was able to teach Caroline to walk with crutches, because I didn't have crutches, so I couldn't teach.
Right.
So having you been able to help this little girl navigate things is going to be huge, and I know that the family's probably very grateful for that.
Yep,
Well,
the
it's-
very
yeah. So, and Emma is her degree path is to do
Nursing.
CNA and then nursing.
And so, Sienna, I love that. And that's where I like the earlier question we had about what advice would you give parents who are starting to think about their child's future. I don't feel like Nancy spent enough time on that. And she's one of the reasons we wanted to have Nancy visit and ask questions, because she has really done a lot of wonderful things with her daughters. I mean, the fact that she's having Emma work towards her nursing. A lot of people with children with special needs just kind of pigeonhole because we don't know what else to do. But Nancy makes ways for her children to do things. She's not afraid to go into the college and talk to them and say, how can this be done?
Well,
So,
you've got to know who to talk to. So we know the lady in the office for accommodations, because we went there and talked to her, and she's always willing to help.
Right.
it's getting to know and recognizing when it doesn't work and trying it. And if it doesn't work, then you just regroup and you retrench, which is why I love Flex and Flow, because you have to know that it's different. And so Emma, for example, was in a program here in our local high school that works with community college. We tried it. It was a struggle, and not through anything. She was trying very hard, but when they're trying to accommodate, they don't always understand. So one thing with Emma is machines, the way that they talk does not help her. Like, it's almost like her brain doesn't understand when they're speaking.
It's maybe too monotone
when
or
it's
not
not people.
Yeah.
And so struggled, and they were flabbergasted. Well, it works for other people. Not every child is the same. And computer voice does not work. For whatever reason, her brain does not process computer voice. That was very difficult. I listen to all kinds of things on tape and on whatever. It's no problem for me, but it was a struggle. So you do really have to recognize that maybe that's not going to work, and you've got to try another thing. Don't get frustrated. Don't keep trying, because it's worth it. And here's the other secret of life. You have like 80 years.
I like that.
So use them.
You don't have to drive a car by 16.
Right.
You can drive a car by
At
30.
22.
Yeah. So Charlotte's goal is to drive a car one day as well. It just may not happen. She's 21, and she can drive a Polaris Ranger in low gear because that's what she can process at.
Right.
And so
I have a trike.
she has an electric trike too that she's learning to process.
Yep.
And so I love how you said that. We have a long time, and an experience that she had, and then we want to go over to Elizabeth. But Charlotte has done some college classes too, and she's had to take 5 math classes to accomplish that one math class, and that's okay. And I'm grateful that the college accommodated that, and that was huge. And they actually had to make that up. It was kind of digging the trenches, trying to understand. Emma feels it. She's done the same. But now you understand division, even though you didn't understand maybe in elementary school. You finally got it in college. So digging the trenches is taking those 5 math classes in college to accommodate for that one math class.
To get to where you're supposed to be.
And then Charlotte was supposed to take a test at the college, and they wanted her very specifically to take a test on this one computer at the school for accommodations with a helper. Well, she couldn't take the test on that computer. She has her Mac set up for accessibility for all the help she needs to make it bigger, to read it for her, how light the buttons are because she has cerebral palsy and can't push a button that's too hard.
Right.
So all the accommodations, and they were so insistent that she take that class. So we had to go to the accommodations office and get the computer approved. So you can pave ways for new things. If they say no, you can say, well, we need to switch this and see what it looks like, because Charlotte cannot work on that computer. Like, it just does not work for her. This Mac has been the computer's been set up for accessibility and accommodations. So you just kind of make things work. And I love how she said you can dig your own trenches, and you got to work with people, but we do it kindly. That's what we talk about. You get mad, nothing works.
Exactly. If you're being cranky, it's not going to be great.
Right. Okay, you want to move to Elizabeth? You want to tell us about your work or struggles?
Yeah, I do. So I'm Elizabeth. I am a bus monitor for the school district. I've been there for 2 years. One of the struggles I have is, sorry, I'm getting emotional like this. Last year, the struggles I'm having is last year we got, my family doctor diagnosed me with depression, mild severe depression, and I take meds for it. If I forget my meds, I'm a very emotional person, and I don't sleep super well, and it's just hard for me to sleep at night and wake up at 5 o'clock every morning and getting up and getting dressed, because I like to sleep a lot. So that's the struggles I have.
Right? Get up and go do it.
Yeah, you get up and go do it. And so that's empowering, and that's an example to others when it's hard that you still do it. And I'm proud of you, Elizabeth.
What's something you are really proud of?
I'm really proud of being able to make good friends in the community and keep a good friendship with them. Even if it's hard to keep a good friendship with somebody, I work hard enough. I work really hard to do it, because I have a hard time like talking to others, like that's a struggle for me, but keeping somebody as close as to a friend as everybody in the community, it's really important to me. um, and it helps with Special Olympics because I can be friends with everybody on the team, and everybody knows what you're going through or has similar things. And so it's really something that I've been proud of to maintain.
I love that.
Well, for me is I help my friend. I'm proud of getting my friend David part of the team when he uh, he asked me. He's like, "Okay, when does the team start?" And I'm just really proud of helping him with getting him on the team, getting him used to the what we do on the Special Olympics. It's really important. I'm really proud of that because I make, like Emma said, I make friends with everybody.
And I love that. I appreciate and love that you guys have relationships and make them important.
What helps you most when you're at work or in the community?
Well, for me, it helps me to know, like when I'm at work, that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do and like helping everybody. Especially with my grandma, who I've been there for her, and it's harder as she's getting sicker. But long, long as I know that she's that I can help her through, it makes my day a whole lot easier.
And you like serving, so that's what
Yeah.
helps you. Some people.
Yeah.
Is there anything in the community or at work that helps you also like to do your job correctly that people can do? Like, does it help if people give you lists to do or walk
Yeah.
through things? Like, what
It-
helps you function as a hard worker?
Having a list definitely helps, so then I know what I am trying to get done or what I need to get done. It helps to have a list for me.
Good.
For me,
What do they do at the bus barn and stuff to help you be an aid, to help you be successful in the community at your job?
for me, talking to my boss. I love my boss. My boss is a really nice lady. She just helps me know, oh, this is what you need to do and stuff to get me improve better.
They have good trainings. So for Elizabeth, one of the things is they have, and I think they do this for everybody, but it's really helpful for her to have she has her own folder and she can check off and know who the kids are and get those kinds of things. So her boss has made the job be something that she can be successful with because they've tailored the points to her. You know, I don't know for anybody else because obviously I spend the most time with her, but that's been something that they did right from the beginning, was to make sure she had a list and she had checkoffs and so those kinds of things. And the other good thing, because she doesn't always do everything perfectly, nobody does. And they've been very good about talking, saying you cannot do this, and if you do, you know, they treat her like just any other employee to a certain extent, so that she isn't like, oh, it's just her and she doesn't know any
Singled
better.
out, right.
They don't do that. She's expected to adhere to the same rules. Her job is really one that's perfect for her. So that's the nice part, right? We found the right job, and that takes a minute. It didn't happen quickly.
Right.
So we had been looking for a job for 3 years. 3 years when she got that job. So it wasn't easy, it wasn't fast, but again, they set it up and they do things so that she understands.
I like how they do the folder and they adapt it to you, and I'm sure
Yeah.
they do that with other
They do.
aides as well. It sounds like they
They
adapt,
do.
and that's huge.
What do you wish more people understood about adults with special needs?
I guess just kind of what they're going through. Not everybody knows people with special needs what they're going through, but if they like learn about them and how they can help them, it's really important because one, kids, people with special needs, it's harder for them to like, I guess, learn something faster than if like a typical person would learn. And a lot of people don't understand that it takes us that have special needs a little bit longer to learn it or to process what they're talking about, and it gets frustrating for people who don't have the special needs talking to us that do, because we just can't process things as fast as everybody else.
I think that is very well said. Thank you.
For me, with my special needs, I liked how I had an aide with me in my English in classes. I got all my work done with help with an aide. I was in co-taught class for English, and I loved having an aide, and the rest of my classmates realized that I had special needs, and they understood I take a slower time, but with an aide helping, I got all my work done.
Yeah. Well, so in the adult world now, did that aid idea translate to how your job is, because you work with another person all the time? And so does that help and that support, is that similar in your work life as it was when you were in high school?
It does, because I love having a person that understands what I've been through. Like the person I ride on the bus with, who is the bus driver, and she understands. Like we have a lot of students that needs help, and I understand, and she understands what they're going through as well.
Awesome. There's kind of a word to that I've learned, and it happens more in adults. But what I hear a lot of is that you weren't in a self-contained room, that you were allowed to be in a typical classroom.
Right.
And a lot of that, what we call that moving into adulthood, is pairing. So I've learned, I actually help a lot of bosses, like you were saying, like your boss and different people understand pairings. I had one young man who was working at a cement industry, and by himself he didn't work well. And it didn't matter if he knew the stuff or not. When he had someone paired with him, working right alongside with him, he worked just fine.
Yep.
So a lot of times with that processing, just being paired with someone, and I think that just really helps to understand that, like, a lot of times in Charlotte, I can send her to go fold laundry by herself. For some reason, it just doesn't completely happen by herself. But it doesn't matter who it is. It can be her sibling with cerebral palsy as well, with the same disability, but being paired and working together side by side, for some reason that helps the processing. Yep. It's almost like a gear going. Even though they're both processing the same, that pairing is really important. So I've taught that to a lot of bosses, and they found that really changes a lot for whoever, whether they're special needs or not. They're finding a lot of people process better with that pairing.
Right.
So I don't know what that energy is, but I think it's an incredible thing to understand. So thanks for sharing that, Elizabeth.
You're welcome.
And one other thing, if you don't mind me sharing, we had an experience last night. We were just meeting with somebody with Charlotte, and at the end, Charlotte was standing there right next to me with crutches, and he shook my hand, and then he just didn't shake Charlotte's hand because her arms were in crutches. He wasn't trying to be mean.
Yeah.
He just decided not to shake her hand because her hands were busy, right? And then that's what I said. You can shake her hand, let her make the choice. So go ahead and put your hand out. So that's kind of, I guess, some advice when it says, what are things that you wish people knew, is don't make the choice for the special needs person. If you think they can't do it or can do it, or can't do it, give them that option and let them make the choice. So whether you think they can stack those blocks or not, don't make that choice for them and think they can't. Give them the block still and let them do it.
Right.
Or put your hand out to shake their hand, even if they're in a wheelchair or have crutches, and let them make that decision. Does that make sense? I just think that's really important to.
And I think you can't make expectations of what that's going to look like. So if everybody's going to be different. If you have, this is what that should look like every time, that's going to be difficult. But if you just let them, again, be accepting and understand at their level. And if you don't understand, ask, because it's better to ask. It's better to ask the question than to avoid or to pretend it's not there, right? And people have done that for years. They've pretended that something's not there.
Because they think it's polite.
Exactly. They're worried that they're going to say something mean. So.
Yep. Asking questions is huge. Charlotte always says, "Ask me about my crutches." Don't be afraid of me. Ask me about it.
Ask me.
Yep.
And that's been huge. What are number 12?
What are your hopes and dreams for the future?
My future, like my hopes and dreams, I'm hoping to get through my CNA classes and to become a nurse because that's what I've always dreamed of, especially when my grandparents both got sick. The nurses, when they were helping them out, or any of my family members, I thought to myself, oh, maybe I should be a nurse. That'd be a great future for myself. That's one dream that I would always think of, even if it was first being a cosmetology student or being a cosmetologist. That didn't work out, but becoming a nurse I've really wanted to push for being a nurse. That's one dream that I have.
And I liked what your mom said earlier. It doesn't matter how long it takes. You have 80
Yeah.
years. So Charlotte's
Yeah.
motto all the time, because she moves slowly, is forward, no matter the pace. And
There
I
you
think
go.
that's
Yep.
really important to
Yeah.
remember,
That's
even
a
if it
good
takes you a
one.
while.
Yep.
Yes.
Good.
For me, growing up with an English teacher, I always wanted to be a teacher. So I'm going class. I'm going to the college. And I'm going for my early childhood and development degree, so I can be in the classroom with kids that have special needs.
That's impressive. Nice work. That's hard stuff.
What does contributing to society mean for your family?
Well, for our family, when we do like community cleanup, that helps like the schools, like clean up trash, clean up weeds.
And again, we've been involved with Special Olympics, so we want to be involved with other people. And if people have questions, we want to answer their questions. Like, how do you deal with this? They see that these two seem to be doing so awesome and do wonderful, and they're doing wonderful things, and they are, absolutely. It wasn't easy, and it didn't come quickly. And so part of it is just to let other people know that it's okay, and that we can move forward with things. They also need to just go out and do. Like, go out and do. If you're just sitting in your house feeling sorry for yourself, then it's going to be sad.
Yep.
It's just going to be sad. So we prefer to go out and try and be involved. We're involved with church, we're involved with Special Olympics, we're involved with, like Elizabeth mentioned, community cleanup and other community activities that we've been involved with in the past. We're always willing. We just love people. So we love people.
Love people, and that's what this is all
There you
about. We
go.
love people.
Yep.
Love one another. Excellent. Thank you.
How do you celebrate the big and small wins together?
Cheering. So we so the both of the girls actually did cheer, right? So we're big cheerleaders for people, and we're cheerleaders for ourselves, because it's fun to do stuff, and you have to acknowledge that it's good to have it done, and to be able to do things together. So that's super helpful, that we do things together. So other things, at least for me, chocolate is a big plus. I happen to love dark chocolate, in fact. So I love dark chocolate. And so our community, right? Our Special Olympics community specifically, but even our community, people are just supportive, right? We live in a small enough community. A lot of people. We go to a lot of sports events. We go to a lot of activities. You just get involved, and we love to cheer, and we love to hug, some of us more than others, but we do. So I think that's it. Do you guys think there's anything else we particularly do?
I like cheering on yourself. I think that's
Yeah.
important.
Like my mom said, cheering on people. Well, for me, going to the football games, I'm the loudest there.
Yeah.
You're the loudest.
But also helping people with like my mom said, the Special Olympics, like helping my teammates out, cheering them on. When we did swimming, I remember cheering on our teammate who was afraid of water, who made it across the pool with a life jacket on, but she did it. And I cheered on my little sister when she first started as well, who was scared over the water. And we were at regionals in the valley, and our coach jumped in the water and got her in, and she got first place. So I cheered her on, and that was a big thing.
Swimming too.
So a
She's a
quick
fast
story
swimmer,
on
too.
that. As a coach, I've learned you can't wear jeans.
Yeah, because they're really weighing you
So
down.
we practiced. Emma is a very fast swimmer. She's also a very fast runner. And we practiced every Friday at the Snowflake Pool, and there was no deep end.
Right.
But when we went to regionals, there was suddenly a deep end, and that
It was
terrified
only a
her.
deep end. Yeah.
Yep, it was all deep water, and and poor Emma
Right.
was just completely terrified. And this was an event with hundreds of people. She was getting ready to race, and she was terrified. She just couldn't, and it was going to disqualify her if she didn't go. And going to practice every Friday and seeing these kids, and we really want. And I know Nancy was okay if I did it. We want them to overcome, and
Yep.
I jumped over the fence and jumped in the pool in my jeans and helped her to make sure she got across. And that was kind of funny. I've never lived that down, but now I wear yoga pants or a swimsuit when I go to swim practice.
Yeah.
But I think, and I don't know if she even knows for that event. She did. She got first because she's a fast swimmer. And I don't know if she's ever known this. Maybe I shouldn't share it, but she was kind of disqualified in the race because I had to get in.
Right.
But what she's always going to remember is that she didn't quit.
Right.
She finished that race and she did it. And she remembers that she made it first. And that's what carries us on in our lives is not quitting and moving forward, even when it's scary or hard. And we reach out to our community and have that support. And anyway, I love this story. I think it's really funny. And she's never been afraid of the water since. So like, there's no fear. She realized she could do it. And what would have happened if she didn't?
Right. If she had gotten out of the water and didn't
finish the race,
it would have been so hard because you were right there, and I'm trying to like push her from the from the side, and I'm like, oh,
I did get in trouble for that.
I'm the mom. Yeah. So I'm the mom. What do I do? And so Anna jumped in, and it was awesome.
Yeah. And I did get in trouble for that, but to me that was was worth it.
We break barriers
we
all
break
the time.
barriers. Yeah, we have to break rules because I honestly think that moment could have changed her personality with giving up or not giving up, going forward, and all kinds of things in life, nursing school or all kinds of things, knowing that even though it's hard and things get scary, that she can push forward. So sorry, that's a huge story that I actually hold in my heart and use that when I have to make decisions about other things. So I appreciated you bringing that up because that meant a lot to me, knowing what to do to move forward as a mother as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So thank you. These are special girls, special family, if you can't tell.
What message would you like to share with other families walking with a similar path?
To never be afraid to do anything, whether it's getting your kids to do something that they don't want to do, to let them like try hard or whatever. Don't give up. Push through, even if it's a challenge. Always push through and don't give up on your kids. Even if they have special needs or whatnot, just don't give up on them.
I love that. That's a perfect ending.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
So
let's be
friends.
Thank you, guys. That was amazing.
If you're listening, thank you for being a part of this. We are excited to share more stories and more truth and more love in every episode. Until next time, love one another, and like I say, so let's be friends.